The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
My second guest of this year, the one Mona. Thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate your time. And the fact that you told me before we went on that you're very rare to get hold of and stuff like that. You don't do many. So I really do appreciate this.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on today.
Honestly, I'm very honored to have you. Where do we even start? I see you have a Detroit t-shirt on.
Yes.
You are Detroit through and through.
I am.
Why is that? I know you're from there, but why?
So, yes, I'm born and raised here. I've also tried venturing out to different states. Arizona, I've tried, and I've even tried California. And it's just like Detroit has this vibe that's so different. And some people may disagree with that. But it's like you really have to just look into Detroit from the inside instead of the outside, and then you'll realize how much you actually love this city and how true people are and how people will ride for the city. Like you say, you're from Detroit, and everyone's like, yeah, like all supportive about it if they're from there. So it's just like the atmosphere is different, and people have a hard time realizing that. But if you actually like put your time into spending time in Detroit, you'll realize how good of a city it actually is. So I'll always ride for Detroit.
Definitely. You are also a Lions fan. That's correct.
Yes, I am. Even my water bottle, big Lions fan. Yes, I've been a season ticket member since my son was in my stomach, and he's 13 now. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I've been through it all with them. So to see the success that they have now, it's amazing.
Definitely. I mean, I'm not a Lions fan myself. I like the Jags.
We got to get you over to I'm going to send you a Lions shirt. Like, you got to come over to our side. The Jags,
Definitely.
they're trying to get some of our head coaches. So, not our head coach, our offensive or defense. I know they've been kind of interested in a couple of our coaches on our side. So, but it's still a good organization, but Lions forever.
Well, you're going to say that, aren't you?
Yeah.
So with me, I saw the Jags. They came over and I worked the event. I did flag bearing for my work in November last year because they came over at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the UK and they
That's
versed
true.
Chicago Bears. And so I was quite happy for that.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's also nice because the owner, obviously we know who the owner is, and they go international too, and they head over to the UK. So it's nice that you get to actually see events there, as there's so many here in America. So I
Yeah.
can see also that too as well.
You mentioned obviously the owner, AEW. We know you're a big WWE girl, but what about AEW? Does AEW interest you as well?
Okay, so it does, but not as much as WWE. And the only reason why, and I'll be honest with you, is I originally, when AEW started to pick up a little bit, Cody was still there. I started to watch it, and I actually was so attracted to the product because the storylines were something that like builds up step by step, and they lasted such a long time that you started to like get invested. Even though this is all predetermined things, you actually like invest in the storyline and you're so interested. So I was really into AEW, but then it started to fall flat after Cody Rhodes left. And I felt like the product, it was still good, it's still entertaining, but I wasn't invested to where I was like, okay, this storyline is like a soap opera. Like, I'm so addicted to watching what's going to happen next. And I don't get that anymore. So I still respect AEW. I still watch them. I still, talk about them here and there. But growing up in WWE since I was a baby is the reason why it's like my heart just like sticks to the WWE naturally.
Yeah, definitely. So WWE recently went on Netflix and that was
Yes.
quite big. So what is your opinion? What was your opinion on the first show?
So I did put on my social media that I like this show, and a lot of response, and I want to respond to this because I didn't get to respond to everybody, was, oh, you only like them. You're only saying that because this is WWE, and you do sometimes I'll do some media work for them. And I actually said, well, no. The only reason why I choose to do media work or get into it the way that I do is because I like the product, not because necessarily I know some of these wrestlers. I enjoyed it a lot. There was one thing I didn't like, and I'll get to that, but I enjoyed it a lot because they are finally trying to dip into a bigger market. And any business person will tell you, like, hey, they're going to do what's best for the company because it actually supports and builds up the wrestlers more. So I don't look at it as like, okay, this is good for the company. I look at it, it's good for the wrestlers. It's giving them an opportunity to shine in different markets that people don't understand or know of. So I did like it. The only thing I would say is I wish The Rock was more, meaner. He
Yeah.
was very nice to Roman, and we as wrestling fans are used to him saying like, "Hey, I'm like the final boss, or I'm the high chief. Like I
Mhm.
run everything." But I also understand why they kept him in that promo because I do believe they had a lot of kids tuning in also across the globe, and they didn't want it to be too like, okay, what the heck is
Yeah.
going on? So I like that they moved to Netflix. Uh, you know that they're doing really well when all those sponsors were on the map. You have
Mm,
Fortnite, you have Saudi Arabia was on there. Um,
Prime.
so I think it benefits the wrestlers more than the company. And people may disagree with me on that, but I do believe it's good for the wrestlers. Now the company's bringing in more money since you can pay this talent more so that they can continue to show out every week.
Yeah, definitely. There's two things I didn't like, and one of
Tell
them
me.
I'll agree with you with The Rock.
Yeah.
I think what they built, well, should have built for the year with him and Cody and stuff like that, it
But
it didn't get answered.
do you think though that, and this went through my mind, maybe he's done wrestling. Maybe he can't do it anymore. Because last WrestleMania, he talked about how first of all he trained for like 6 months,
Yeah, it
and then
didn't.
after he said, I'm beat up. He really had a tough recovery after. So it's like maybe he's doing it because he can't give what the wrestlers wish they could have again, which is him wrestling again. Because sometimes we don't understand that that's really hard, especially at his age.
Mm, definitely, he's 52 and he or something crazy like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I feel like that. What's the second thing though?
And then I thought they were like, I won't say commercials or anything, but there was like too many apps. Do you know what I mean? Like showing like video packages. I thought there were just too many of them.
Wait, so what did you see? Because I didn't see video packages. I got actual commercials.
Did you?
I did. I got actual commercials. Like obviously State Farm. We know State Farm is State Farm commercials, Cricket, which they're a sponsor, but I got actual like 2 minute commercials.
Well, I didn't. The ones that I got, obviously, was like the WWE packages and stuff like that. And
Oh,
I'm all for it, but not the amount that they were in the 3 hours.
yeah, no, we got a lot. I
And
I started
that's
it
the
a
other
little
thing.
late because of my son was at soccer till 8, so I started it like about 10 minutes late and I caught up because of commercials. I caught up to
Mm.
get live because of the commercials.
Yeah, apart from that, I thought it was good.
It was good. I do like it. I like that I know they put their front superstars forward for the first
Mhm.
show, and I hope they continue that momentum because you look at Saturday night main event, they when they did their first one in New York and now they're doing one in San Antonio, it's like, okay, is the momentum going to stay every, Monday Night Raw or every Saturday night main event because you got people drawn in. You got to How do you keep up on that momentum? Because they
Yeah,
started out strong.
definitely. And
So I
then
hope.
you've got, sorry,
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
and then you've got obviously we mentioned in The Rock, and obviously how it took him 6 months to prepare for that. And then you've just said, it took a toll on him. I think The Rock and Roman needs to happen. If it's not this year, then next year. It needs to, and then obviously that's the perfect time for him to hang up his boots after that match.
Yeah, and I agree because when he did the if you smell and then he stopped and he didn't like he stopped for like what like maybe 15 seconds before he
Mm,
said what the rock is. It's like was he trying to give us an indirect message? I know sometimes people don't like when you read into things, but I was like, wait, why did it take him so long to say what the rock is cooking? Like was he trying to think, should I plug something in there that's going to throw the internet off?
mm,
Because Roman said it at the press conference. I'm gonna let the internet figure it out. When he said, "Is The Rock and Roman gonna fight?" He's like, "I'll just let the internet figure it out."
yeah,
And it's good publicity. They're doing it right. So look how we're talking about it.
oh, definitely. And if you notice, did you watch NXT?
hmm
He was
I
on there.
did. I was half
And
asleep, but I watched it.
yeah, he was half. Everything was censored. Stuff that he was saying, you can tell
hmm
the big difference compared to Raw and Netflix. And he said on there, he mentioned Cody, right? And he said, oh, how he's always 20 steps ahead.
Yes.
So I reckon I said this way, Isa earlier. I think I keep saying the name wrong.
Who?
The one that I had earlier, Isa.
Issa.
Yeah, I keep saying the name wrong. Isa. I said that I think that Rock will be in the Rumble.
Yes. And you know what I like about this is that we're thinking that The Rock's going to be in there. And then obviously you're going to have other big superstars that are kind of next on the list. CM Punk talked about wanting to be a champ.
Mhm.
Jey Uso put on his Instagram stories he wants to be a world champ in 2025. So and then you have John Cena, right? So it's like this year. I know everybody likes to do predictions, and that's fine. I
Mm.
think it's good that everybody's doing what they like to talk about. Who would win? So if you throw The Rock in that mix, it's like throwing a monkey wrench. Like who can possibly win the Rumble now with all these?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because this Royal Rumble has in my eyes, the potential to be one of the biggest. You've just
Yes.
mentioned we mentioned The Rock. You got Roman, who's going to be in there, possibly.
Yes.
You got
Possibly.
John Cena, Jey Uso, the debut of Jacob Fatu going in the Royal Rumble. Solo Sikoa could have a breakout Royal Rumble because it's like, what's next for him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You could have Randy Orton. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting how WWE makes the final four because
Yeah.
or should we say the final six? The final six will be like, wow, throw Rey Mysterio in there, Penta. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so this Royal Rumble has the potential to be the biggest.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I think is going to be one of the best. I do feel like they're going to they're going to shock us. There's just no way they're just going to, make it as predictable. Like last year, I kind of figured Bailey was going to win when we talk about the women's side. And then the men's side, I honestly kind of figured it would be Cody again because he lost his shot at
Mm.
WrestleMania 39. And, we already knew he's got to put the belt on. So, I like how unpredictable it is, and that's why I'm not gonna do any predictions myself because it's so unpredictable that it's like I just want to sit back and enjoy what happens.
Yeah, will you be going to the Rumble?
I will be, yes, yes, that's the plan. Yes, I will be
Jealous,
there. I
very
have
jealous.
to at this point because next one is gonna be overseas, and
Definitely not
it's
going to that one.
yeah, so it's like I'm gonna I want to go. That's the plan is to be there. Um, because I don't want to miss it. Rumble's actually one of my favorite PLEs.
You got the returns, the surprises, the Hall of Famers that could turn up.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just like every time a minute, every 90 seconds somebody new comes out and it's like you get to get up and it's like entrances are like to me my favorite. Like I love
Mm.
entrances. Like I just look like that's when it's like the most hype. You don't know who's gonna return and you don't know who's coming out next. So it's like always a surprise. So you're always like you're very tired at the end of it, but you're always excited like every single time it's the clock starts going down.
I bet your voice goes at the end as well from all that screaming.
It's like the two things that make me lose my voice is wrestling and football. So those, yeah, just because you're always screaming. So
Mm.
so it's
What's
exciting.
your favourite Royal Rumble?
Oh gosh. Probably the one where John Cena came back and Triple H was in the ring and mad. What number? I don't know what number that
Oh,
was.
wait.
What no? Yeah, yes, thank you. That one because that one was because nobody knew. Like there was no rap sheet, there was no internet, there was no nothing like sources. Like it was just so quiet. And that return, and I respect John Cena and his work so much. That one was really good. Um, but like to me, that one was it. I did enjoy the one in St. Petersburg, the one in Florida, in Tampa. That one was good too, just because that was my first media experience. So
Mm.
as a whole, it's like from my success, that one was my favorite. But the '08 one was definitely that one was great because no one really knew anything about that one.
He came back after a torn pec for after 3 months or something.
I don't know how that. Well, I don't know what kind of miracle doctor he went to, but he came back real quick from injury, and that's I think what shocked the world. And Triple H was like standing there like all mad in the ring, like where did this guy come from?
That was like Triple H 2002 vibes, wasn't it?
Yes, and that's what I grew up on, so I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. My personal favourite is, you've got to say it, apart from the year it was, 2020 with Edge.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh. I forgot about that one. See, there's so many good ones. You wonder why I like the Rumble so much is
Yeah.
because there's just so many good ones. So yeah, that one was good. Now he's Cope.
That's strange.
I don't know.
Written. Yeah, that's another story itself.
Yeah. So
What's
no, those.
your favorite WrestleMania? As in, like, what match card do you look at and think, wow?
Oh, I think it was in 2010. The what was that, WrestleMania 25 or 26? Where HB
25.
25,
Yeah.
yes, because we are in 25 now, so 10 years ago. Um, when HBK and Undertaker was streak versus career.
Oh, that was 26.
26. Yes, thank you for serving my memory correctly. That one I feel like was a great WrestleMania because I felt like I said, when there's no social media behind big events like this, I feel like I can enjoy it more. And that one I went to, and that was my first WrestleMania, and that's being a little biased because it was my first one and I enjoyed it so much. But um that's when I started to realize I have a different connection to wrestling, and it's not just for fun. Emotions did play a role in it. I remember being very emotional when HBK lost, and um, because I really wanted him to stay in wrestling. I really enjoyed growing up watching him with my dad. Um, I felt like that one was a really good one for me. Personally, because I started to realize it's more than just, hey, entertainment. It's starting to like connect with me emotionally,
Mm.
and that's why that one would be my favorite, because I realized like it's the love is really deep with wrestling, because I didn't think I'd ever cry over somebody retiring, and that day I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a good card.
Yeah, it was a really good card, but that one specifically, that match specifically, because that's when I got emotional.
Even the 5 matches that The Undertaker had, because you had the back-to-back with Shawn, the back-to-back with Triple H, and then I like the match that he had with Punk.
Yes, and obviously the only one I didn't like was with Brock, because his streak got
Yeah.
broken. I will forever never I will never be like okay with that. I feel like he should have kept the streak going, because you're not going to get that with anybody else. And the Undertaker is like the dead man. His character fits being undefeated during WrestleMania.
Definitely.
So,
100%. And
yeah.
what I like about The Undertaker is obviously he did the gimmick for so many years, and then he went away for so many months and came back as the American Badass. Did
Yeah.
that. So he reinvented it. He reinvented himself along with the time. So he came along with time.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so
I like that.
yeah, I did. It was great.
When did you first discover wrestling? Like as a kid, what was you growing up? What was it like growing up for you?
So my grandpa loved wrestling. He used to record them on his VHS, because obviously back in the day they didn't have. So he'd record them on his VHS and he would save them. And then my dad was such an organized freak. He would label them. And um my dad obviously started watching it. And one time he was sitting with him, and I was like, "Wow, Dad, like this is really like cool." And so he pulled out all those VHSs and we started watching back. Oh my gosh, back when it was really, really back when it was like a really crazy era.
Mm,
And that's what got me into it. So it started with grandpa, then dad, and then me. And I was the only one in my family, aside from my siblings, that actually was entertained. My other brothers were like, I'm not watching this. And I'm over here like I couldn't wait. My dad would let me like stay up late to watch it, and I'd get in trouble because I have school the next morning. And you used to always run over 11 o'clock.
mm,
Uh, so yeah, it's just growing up with the wrestling, family is what got me into it.
yeah. Who is your favorite?
Stone Cold. And I know that's very generic, I would say, but the reason why Stone Cold got me into it is because um like his I don't care personality is like who I am. So it's like I connected with him because it's like he just didn't care, and I'm that same way. And I would get in trouble so much because I had that personality, and Stone Cold would get into it. So it's like I feel like he was like my safe haven growing up, like where it's like, okay, it's okay to sometimes like be a badass, you
Mm,
know? Yeah, I don't want to be this picture perfect person. And women in wrestling, sometimes it can be such a touchy subject to be like what are you why are you so emotionally attached to this product? You should be, into fashion. I'm over here like, no, I want to like be a badass like Stone Cold. So I connected to him a lot. And then when I felt like I was the odd man out, especially like in school, and people say like making fun of me, like, how do you like this stuff? Like, at the end of the day, when I turn on the TV and watch him, he actually was somebody that would, like, calm me down and be like, "It's okay to be this way," you know?
Yeah,
Who cares what other people think? So that's why I love Stone Cold so much.
I like that.
Mhm.
And then obviously you mentioned your grandpa, your dad, then there's you, and then you obviously got your kids into it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, we would watch it as a family, and they weren't so into it that much. And then one time it was my son's birthday, and I said, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And then my husband said to my son, Raw's going to be here, and it's going to be the one where Cody's first Raw back ever since he
Wow.
went to AEW. He's like, "So do you want to go?" And my son said, "You know what?" And he's pretty quiet. He's pretty like a toned down child. He doesn't really say much. He said, "Yeah, I'll go." And so that's when we picked up some front row tickets. We sat, we took them, and then Cody gave him his belt. And ever since that moment, my kids have been so attached to wrestling. And it's like sometimes that's why my respect is so high for Cody, because it's like he drew in not only my kids, but he's drawn in so many other kids to watch this product because of the type of person he is in this business.
Yeah.
And so now my kids are forever like, I want to go to a wrestling event. I can't wait to go when it's in town. They're the ones telling me like, "Hey, don't forget pre-sales today." And so yes, now we're a big wrestling family, and it's that's what people make fun of me all the time. They're like, "That's what you guys do for fun," and I'm like, "Yes, that's what we do for fun."
But it's the memories that you're creating with your family, innit? And I don't think many people understand that.
No, and you know what? I do get a lot of backlash. Like, how do you take your kids to these events? And I'm like, what what's wrong with these events? That's what I'm trying.
Nothing wrong.
What there's nothing wrong with it. Where do you want me to take them? Like, why do you feel so offended over a predetermined show? There's to me personally, I feel like when it's Monday and it's Friday or Tuesday, well, I'm talking, or even Wednesday, whenever there's wrestling, Thursday, TNA, it's like my kids and I all sit down together as a family and we watch this product, and it gets me to build a connection with them outside of wrestling. They're home with me and they're enjoying something with me. So it's like I look at it more of my kids are close to me through wrestling,
Hmm.
because a lot of times, the internet can be a wild place.
Definitely.
They don't get bored. There's something to do and they stay close to me, and we find something that we connect on. And when they get older, they're going to stay connected to that, because that's exactly what happened to me, which kept me close to my dad. So I wish people would realize that it's more than just wrestling. I'm building a relationship with my children through wrestling, and they stay close to me, and I feel like it's going to be beneficial to when they get way older.
Yeah. And what I noticed about you is when you, because I follow you on TikTok and stuff like that, that's your biggest like platform, TikTok.
Yes.
I love your cooking videos. I love this, and do you know what I mean? Obviously, not in the Detroits, you know, that
Yeah.
you went. But other than that, I like it because obviously you do go to front row, and I see that you film your kids with a certain superstar or something like that, and that obviously as a mother makes you warm inside. You know what I mean? Seeing your kids and happy and stuff like that. So that's what I like to see.
Yeah. And a lot of times, I do tell them, like, I didn't get to really do these things when I was younger. And this is why doing it now makes me so happy, because me and my husband both are able to take them to these events and build these memories. And it's nice because sometimes they won't tell me directly that, but they may tell a family member, and they'll be like, you should see what my mom and dad did for us. So sometimes we may not hear it directly, but we hear it through someone else that they appreciate it, love it, and they are just like, we like are forever grateful for you being able to capture these memories, and they get to meet all these cool wrestlers. And it's something that I know when they get older, and I always look at the long-term effect of things. I've been that way my whole life, is that when they get older and they have kids, they're going to say, "Hey, my parents did one, two, three." And to me, that makes me feel very successful inside,
Yeah,
that I was able to give them a good childhood. I'm very blessed that I'm able to provide these type of opportunities for them. And when they get older, I know it's gonna stick with them forever. So that's like the whole main purpose on why, I'm going to a wrestling event, my kids are going with me, you know.
yeah. And I like that. How many events did you go through to in 2024 altogether?
You're gonna be we'll be here for like an hour if I'm trying to figure if I count those. My goodness. Obviously, if it comes to the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, surrounding areas, Detroit, I'm there. Um, well, I've been to the Rumble. We went to SummerSlam, Money in the Bank. I missed out WrestleMania because I caught the flu. So I
Okay.
couldn't. Yeah, it was horrid. Um, I can't count. I can't count, but I've been to a lot. I'm more than 20 probably, including live shows.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
And AEW, I forgot that too. I've been to a couple AEW events as well.
That's really good.
Yeah, they were fun too.
So you do media. How long have you been into that? Like, how did you even get into it?
So it's been a year since I've been in the media industry with that. My first one was the Royal Rumble last year, and I networked really hard. I put myself out there, introduced myself to people, and um, like I said, I just continued to just put my name out there in what I do. And I love journalism. I've always studied it. And I said, okay, this is just what I want to do. So I just continue to reach out to people and say, this is what I want. And luckily, I got in the hands of the right people and I introduced myself. I put like my resume together, my social media kit, and I said, just give me the opportunity and I won't fail you. And luckily, they were able to get me in. And ever since like my first Royal Rumble, it's been such a positive experience. And I've been able to put out content and questions that are very different than what others ask. And that's been very successful. So that's why I just continue to be able to get the opportunity and the invitation to go back, which is wonderful. So I'm so thankful for it. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without everybody that supports me on the outside.
I like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have met someone who I like, and I'm very happy that this recently happened. Obviously, she's now the champion, Tiffy Stratton.
Yeah. Tiffy time.
Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
my God. Tiffany is an icon. I freaking love her. I know she's a heel, but she's honestly the sweetest thing ever. And she's very serious about her role in the company. That's how I take her because I interviewed her at Money in the Bank. And she's determined to be the best she can be. And I respect a lot of her work, her wrestling abilities and everything that she does in and out of the ring. I do believe that I hope she holds on to the belt for a long time, and she does really deserve it. So, Tiffany Stratton, honestly, nothing but positive things to say about her because I do believe she takes her role very seriously.
Yeah. Who's been your favourite to interview? You've also
LA Knight.
interviewed Rhea.
LA Knight. I know, I could say Rhea, but LA Knight was my favorite because LA Knight, I actually was very nervous interviewing LA Knight.
Really?
Yes, because I didn't understand his personality outside the ring. I've watched some of his interviews just to kind of get a hang of how he interviews and before prepare myself before I go interview him. And of course, just my luck. I'm nervous to interview LA Knight. He was my last interview when I was at Money in the Bank, so I was like, okay, this would be great. Like it's my last one, then I can just relax. And just my luck, all my equipment started failing just before we were about to start. And I'm shaking, and he doesn't see that because I'm like obviously hiding it very well. But the reason why he was my favorite is because he went along with it and he made it like the best experience for me. And he joked during the whole thing and he's trying to help me. And he's like, you're the reason I'm going to lose Money in the Bank because you made me work so much. And so that's why he was my favorite because I was like, didn't know what to expect. And then everything went to crap before I was about to interview him. But he was like a big, like, teddy bear in a way where he's just like, okay, I'm not going to stress this woman out, but I am going to give her some good content and fix her equipment. So he was my favorite because he wasn't what I was expecting. I thought he was going to be like real serious and like I'm just going to give straightforward answers when he really was just like a genuine, like I felt like I was talking to a friend. So yes, I love Rhea and I loved interviewing her, but LA Knight was my funniest experience and that's why I loved it the most.
Any advice you would give to people wanting to get into media and how to do it?
So even though it is very, I don't want to use the word saturated, but it is, there are a lot of people that put out wrestling content. There's still space for everyone. Like at the end of the day, you want to start tomorrow, get your phone, get ready. And one of the things I'd say is network. Like, network yourself. Don't be shy to reach out to people. Even if they don't answer, don't be discouraged. Just find someone else that you admire their work, reach out to them, ask them for advice. And don't feel like you have to have everything picture perfect. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm filming in my bedroom right now. Okay, I don't want to feel like, okay, but wait, I don't have a good backdrop, or I don't have belts placed behind me. Like, don't feel like you have to have everything in this picture perfect manner to get started, because
Mm.
we all start from somewhere. And don't compare yourself to anyone, because you are your own person. And if you want people to connect with you, be different. Be you. Like, don't be like, okay, well, this person does it this way, so I'm going to do it this way because they're successful. No, they're successful because they are being who they are, and they have their own opinions and their own content. You could get ideas from other people, but always stay true to yourself. And I'd be like, that's how you attract people to your brand.
I like that. And it's funny you mentioned, obviously, you're in the bedroom. I'm in my kitchen. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I've been wanting to get my office. I have an office. It has all my wrestling stuff in there. It has Cody's belt. It has championship replica belts, everything, pictures. And it's just like, I can't get it together just yet. It's like, it's taking me a long time to figure it out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stress it. Whenever I have time to get it done is when I'm going to get it done. People still like me for me. And, you know, whoever stays behind me just because they want, stays supporting me because of who I am, they're going to stay no matter where I'm filming.
oh, definitely. And it's the same with anyone, isn't it? Really, it's
Yeah.
like with me. I'm at my kitchen table.
See?
I've got a notepad and a pen. You know, just for a few little notes. I've got a little mic there. Did have headphones, but they died. But do you know what I mean? I've not got this fancy stuff. I'm
Yeah. It
working
doesn't
on
have
it,
to be. You
but
don't have to be. Yeah. Enjoy
I'm
it.
doing it quite okay. And yeah, your guest number 73. Yeah, 73. So that's
Ah, that's
quite
good.
good. You look, in my opinion, you look a little bit like Britt Baker. Have you ever had that?
You ready for the list of people that I get mistaken for? All right. Britt
Chelsea
Baker's
Green.
one. Britt Baker's one.
Yeah,
Chelsea Green, I actually get stopped so many times in public and people think I'm Chelsea Green. I'm like, I'm not Chelsea Green. Indy Hartwell.
I can see that.
And you ready for this one?
Go
Layla
on.
Gray.
Who? Oh,
Layla Gray.
yeah, I see that.
So I get mistaken for those people all the time. And I'm like, so it's always so funny because they're like, this is who you
Which
look
one do
like.
you
And
want to
I'm
be
like,
today?
I don't know. That's you. Oh my God. No, I don't even. Probably Chelsea Green because she's so sassy and I love it. And I don't know. I don't know. They're all amazing.
Hmm.
But probably Chelsea Green just because she's like the most sassiest and I could be sassy sometimes.
Yeah, Chelsea Green is where she is now is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm
She's,
glad that
oh,
she's
yeah.
the champ. I'm glad she's the champ. For the
Yeah,
first
me too. I was rooting for her the whole way.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Oh, plans for 2025. What's your plans? Apart from go to as many shows with your family as possible.
Yeah. With the price of these tickets, yeah, we're gonna try. Plan for 2025 is to be a little different in content, put a lot of little different than what I'm used to. Show the more personable side of me. I think that would be something that I've been wanting to put in my head in 2025. I also would like to expand on interviewing wrestlers, whether it is online or in person. So but mostly just putting out different content than what you're used to seeing,
Mhm.
and more content. I know I can get a little busy just with my personal life, but I would like to focus on being on camera more.
Yeah, have you thought about YouTube? I know you do post on YouTube, but have you thought about doing that? Because you've got a decent whack of followers.
Yeah, um, I get nervous because it's a different platform than what I'm used to.
Mhm.
I'd like to like sometimes live stream on there and try that out. And I would lie to you if I told you I didn't get discouraged. I do get discouraged sometimes because I'm like, what if I don't know what I'm doing? But then I remind myself it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to use it as a learning experience. So YouTube is where I put like my full interviews, but I would like to start streaming on there, especially if I could do like post shows. That would be nice. But I gotta like just feel it out within myself first Like, even if I just, like, you might think I'm crazy, even if I'm, like, talking to myself as if there's an audience in front of me, to see if I can make the conversation flow naturally and organically.
I see what you mean, and it's all about confidence and stuff. Like me, I'm talking to someone who's in America now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On a phone.
Yeah.
This is how I've got to do it because I'm in the UK, so it's a bit hard. So
Yeah.
I've done 73 via Zoom, not Zoom, StreamYard. That's what I use. So
Correct.
I'm when I first started, I was like, oh, yeah, it's not going to work out. But I just kept going because
Yeah.
in 2023 I did 6 interviews altogether, but months apart. And then 2024, I thought I'll just give it a good whack, and then I have. And then 2025, I'm here now.
Yeah. See, that's amazing. See.
Yeah. Who impressed you the most in 2024 wrestler wise, female or male?
Oh, it's fun. I would say CM Punk,
Okay.
because I never thought I would ever see him return to WWE. I didn't think that they would ever be able to bury the hatchet. Um, when he came back at Survivor Series, um, my only question was, how in the world did he make amends with the company, because he was so adamant and angry about how all things played out. But with new ownership and new management and Paul Levesque kind of making amends with a lot of wrestlers, he was my most shocking, because I never thought he would forgive. He always looked like one that would be like, yeah, like, we're done. I want nothing to do with you. So, and then he came out and that man performed. And I love that I read some things, and I believe some of them, where he sometimes goes off script to make the internet go crazy, and make them laugh, especially like at War Games, how he like pushed, I think it was like Jacob Fatu or someone in the cage, and everyone said that wasn't in the script. It's like, he impressed me the most because, again, I didn't think he'd ever make up with WWE.
Yeah.
And he came out and he grasped the attention of all the fans so fast that not very many wrestlers can do that, but CM Punk was able to do it, which was amazing to me.
Yeah. Obviously, you're a very busy person, as in TikTok, obviously, with your WWE, obviously in your normal life and stuff like that. Do you ever get, like, I won't call it burnout, but like, have your days where you're like, "Oof."
I do. I do some film work for a wrestling page online, and I needed to get those done. But for some reason, and this is just recent, so it's actually good you asked me that question. I started to get these anxiety attacks, and they were this first time I've ever actually experienced, like, being like, I felt like I had a weight on my shoulder, and felt like I had to get everything done. And when I have something that's required of me, I like to get it done, which is my actually can set me back, because I feel stressed out about getting it done. And when I went to go, I got ready, I went to go film, I couldn't do it. So I just like shut everything off, and I said, you know what? Like, I feel like I'm just burnt out. I'm getting anxious. Things are stressing me out. I have, obviously, I have kids. They're all athletic. They all have sports they play in. So I do always feel like when I do get burnt out. But um, I just don't hold myself to a certain standard. If I can't do it, I'm gonna turn everything off, and I hope that people around me understand that I can't be Superwoman and do it all. So yes, I do get burnt out, and when I do, I literally acknowledge it myself, and I stop what I'm doing, and I just take that break. And a lot of people say, no, you can't take that break. You got to keep posting. You got to keep posting, and it's like, then you're gonna get like a Mona that just is not natural. Like, I'm forcing putting content out, and I'll never do that because I feel like I'll let people down. So if I get burnt out, which I do, I just shut everything off, and I'll take a couple days off, regroup, and come back.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I don't, you know what I mean? I like that you've just said that, and because obviously we all go through it, and there's different types of burnout
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So the fact that you've told me that and opened up, thank you for that. 2025 is going to be a big year for wrestling in general. You've got AEW, which is doing its thing in Texas. It's off to Australia next month. Where do you see WWE going this year, international wise, for pay-per-views? Where
Yeah.
do you see them going?
I think you broke up.
Oh, sorry. Where do you see WWE going international Obviously, they went to Puerto Rico. They've been Backlash, Germany. Where do you see him going this year?
About going international, correct?
Yeah.
I do believe our PLEs are numbered.
Mhm.
When they sold it to TKO, we should have already known that this was going to be not sold it. When they went into partnership with TKO, I kind of figured this was coming because they pull out numbers. Fans are going to act absolutely crazy and happy because they're finally getting something. We get this product 3 times a week. AEW comes, if you really want to think about it, we get wrestling in America so much that they're going to take advantage of the international market because at the end of the day, this is a business and they want to make money. So as much as we don't like it, and I personally am like sad that things go to international, WWE is expect even WrestleMania to go international, and we're going to get some PLEs, but we're not going to get as much. So I do expect it to be more international than it is just in America now. And from a business perspective, I get it, but from a personal perspective, I'm like, we lost everything. So like, it makes me sad that we don't get them all anymore because now we already know Rumble's gone, Backlash is going to Mexico, but it's a business, and you would do the same thing if it benefited your business.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. One thing
Yeah.
what we need is WrestleMania in the UK.
Didn't John Cena, he wanted it in London? John Cena said, I would like it in London. But he's
Yeah.
retiring this year, so I don't even know if that will even be a thing. But he said he would be an ambassador, so I don't know if he's going to shoot that idea after he retires.
It'll be good. The mayor of London said that he's open to bring it over.
Yeah. And you
So
know what? I'm not mad at it. Everybody deserves to witness the product. At the end of the day, selfishly speaking, I hate it, but there are fans globally. Everybody
mhm.
deserves to witness a PLE, whether it's WrestleMania or a Rumble. I know Saudi Arabia already gets their own stuff, their own like crown jewel and all that. But at the end of the day, like everybody deserves to witness this product in live. So I'm not mad at it.
What's your opinion on Royal Rumble going to Saudi Arabia?
Um, the only reason why, I wouldn't like it is because they already get their own event. Um, but they're getting a big payday. So WWE is like, yeah, I'm going to make the money. Fans are going to be mad, right? But fans are still going to watch the product. So at the end of the day, as I could tell you, I don't like it, but coming from a business perspective, they're making money. And that's all. That's why they're going to stay successful because
Money
they're
talks.
going to, yeah. And so I don't want to say I like it and I don't want to say I don't like it. But selfishly speaking, I wish it stayed here. So that's why I really want to enjoy this next Rumble coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be jealous when you're there front row or wherever you are.
Oh,
Are you doing media?
um, yes.
Who's on your bucket list that you want to interview that for there, or do you already know?
I don't know yet. No, we don't. We don't know that far in advance. But bucket list. Uh, wow. I would like to interview CM Punk if that's a possibility. Um, Sami Zayn would be one that I'd like to interview, and then one of the Usos. If I could ever get an Uso, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be good. How many
Yeah.
do you get? How many do you get? Is it like 3?
Usually they'll have everyone is different. Sometimes they have 4 wrestlers, sometimes they have 7 wrestlers, sometimes they have, the number changes, and it just depends on the time and if you have enough time because the media room can be full. So it just depends on how they plan it out and how much time they give you and if you are able to reach the wrestler at that time because the line can be long.
Wow. So is it like the rest will be like interview, next interview, next? Is it like that? Like constantly
Every
going?
setup can be different. Every setup can be different. But a lot of times they have them posted somewhere and then you could go and interview them there. Um, but it all depends on, like I said, if you're in line, do you get to the wrestler in time before they rotate?
Mm,
They got to go somewhere else. So it's
yeah.
always like, it's different every time.
What's the longest interview you've done?
I did TNA, Joe Hendry and the Hardy Boys. Those ones were my longest ones. Those were about 20 minutes each, and those were my first like actual like long term video interview that I've done, and those were actually fun. It was a definitely fun experience.
Yeah, awesome. Who is your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
So I'm gonna put Stone Cold on one, Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, on two. Uh, wow. I'm gonna put Roman Reigns on another one, just something more recent. And then, wow, the last one, I would say, wow, this is a tough one. Probably Ric Flair.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see that. Each
It's
wrestler,
li-
different generations and stuff like that. I like it.
Yep. Yep.
I
That's what I
always
like to do.
finish this off with an inspirational message from my guest. What is an inspirational message from Mona?
At the end of the day, don't care about what people think about you. Be true to yourself and never change for anyone, no matter who it is. Stay authentic to yourself and always have confidence in yourself no matter what anyone says or does.
I love that. Mona, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate your time. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such an honor to be on.
Yeah, I loved every minute. Thank you very much.